What's up, YouTube world? This is Tyler from the Chase Cards here, reporting on a bit of news that I've seen come up recently, and I don't see it being discussed in too many other places right now. So I think it's worthwhile to spend a few minutes talking about it and how it could impact a business like myself, and if you're running any sort of business shipping cards out. So let's go ahead and talk about the article. The post office, which for my business handles probably 90 to 95% of all the shipping that I do on a daily basis, is effectively out of cash. And what does that mean for us running a business if the main shipping supplier, and certainly the cheapest shipping supplier with just a stamp or maybe two stamps or an extra ounce stamp, goes out of business? What does that look like for us that are running a business, and how can we offer competitive shipping rates for our customers? If we look at a TCGPlayer model, where basically anything above $5 generally gets free shipping for the buyers, for me internally, that means that's probably using a stamp. It's probably using an extra ounce stamp or two if it's a few cards being included in the order. But we're looking at a situation here where the main provider of the shipping services for a platform like TCGPlayer or plain white envelopes through eBay may not be an option for us long term. So let's take a look at the article and see what it actually says. So a lot of reporting being done that the post office has been, and I don't think this part of it is really hard to know or something that's been kept secret, but the post office has been on hard times for a little while. It's not been a financially strong organization, but the recent results, I think, are a little shocking that they've gotten this bad, but also I think a little bit more important for us that are in the business to make sure that we're protecting ourselves for what could be coming in the future. So if I scroll down here, the USPS, United States Postal Service, reported an operating loss or net loss of over 9 billion US dollars. That's not 9 million or 9,000. That is 9 billion US dollars. That's not a short-term fix. That's not a quick cash grab or cash injection that's going to fix that sort of a problem. So, what are some of the options that's being put forward from the post office? Basically, what the post office is recommending, or the leadership behind the post office, is recommending that stamps, forever stamps, may need to go up drastically. And not just, 5 cents, 4 cents, something like an increase that we've seen in the past. I know that forever stamps used to be, 65 cents, 68 cents. Not too long ago now, they're sitting at 78 cents, I believe, per stamp. But they're talking about increasing stamps to go up above $1 just for the regular forever stamps. And then I assume that would also apply for extra ounce stamps getting a boost there too. That is a 25%-ish increase. Say they land right at $1 right off the bat. That's a 25% increase in shipping costs that for a TCGPlayer business, we would have to pass along to the customer. Those are things that are going to be influenced in card prices if we still operate under the $5 plus get you free shipping. We would need to account for that extra money in the card prices, which doesn't sound like much at face value, but if you're shipping at a pretty good scale, so, for instance, my business over this past weekend, we sent out over 75 orders just over the course of 2 days or so. So you can do the quick math there and figure out that's a pretty sizable increase that I would need to pass along to my customers. It puts me in a little bit of a competitive disadvantage for being able to be really reasonably priced. But, we'll see what happens ultimately in the end here. I think probably the most unfriendly world for our types of businesses and the type of trading card world that we live in, I think would be is if the post office went away completely. What if you can imagine a scenario in your mind that you'd have UPS and FedEx as your main shipping suppliers. Maybe you Amazon could start something. I'm not sure, but I doubt we'd find anything that was as cost effective as the Postal Service for sending out individual cards or cards on small orders. I know for eBay, you have the option of picking your shipping service if cards get above a certain value. But I think this hurts a lot in terms of that bulk market or lower value cards that don't get to that $20 plus. And let's not forget, that's the large majority of cards that are out there. I know a lot of attention gets paid to the big cards that sell the grails and all of that stuff. But this business moves and survives based on bulk cards and cards like this Flygon here. That's $5 or so. It's a cool card. It's an illustration, but it's not super valuable. It's not something that somebody's probably going to want to pay $5 for and then pay $6 on top of that for shipping. So if I tell a buyer for this card, the Flygon, they got to pay $5 plus say $1 for shipping, they're okay with that. But I have to also factor in my shipping costs as well. Envelopes cost money, team bags cost money, top loaders cost money. So all of those things need to be taken into account when we're factoring in what shipping actually costs for a business owner. So I think, long story short, it's definitely a story we want to continue to monitor into the future. Based on the headline here, we're talking about a situation where the Postal Service could be out of money at some point this year, right? So I think I read in the article they're looking at somewhere around September, October this year really being a critical inflection point for the organization moving forward, where they truly may need to take drastic action. So this is not something that's they're forecasting 3 or 4 years down the line even. This is something that could impact us as business owners, and as just a general consumer, people that are interested in purchasing Pokemon cards or whatever sort of TCG you're interested in. So you could be looking at really big increases for your shipping costs, and things could get a little bit scary for a business owner there, and certainly much more competitive for someone like myself that does deal a good bit in bulk cards and lower value cards. It could make the pricing on those cards go up, but it also could eat into who's actually willing to go buy a card from an online marketplace. If you have to spend an extra $2 or $3 in shipping that you didn't have to before, it probably just makes more sense for you to go to your local game store and sift through their bulk boxes and see what you can find. And oftentimes they're going to give you a really good deal if you take a lot of stuff off of their hands. So we'll see what happens into the future. But like I said, I just wanted to talk about this for a few minutes today because I hadn't seen too many other videos being made about it. And I think it's something that has the potential to be a really big impact on the way that people like myself run small card businesses, and how people out there will be buying cards in the future. So I'd love to hear your thoughts about it down in the comment. I'll make sure if you can leave a comment, I'll get back involved with you as soon as I can. If you found this content helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel. Like the video as well on your way out. It's super helpful and helps this small channel grow and reach new audiences. I really appreciate it. If you have ideas for spin-off videos of this, or if you're particularly interested in shipping and learning more about that, I'd love to create content for you. So just let me know what you're interested in down in the comments, and let's cross our fingers that we don't lose the post office in the next 6 months. Anyway, again, this is Tyler from the Chase Cards, and I'll catch you all soon.